I know like self-care is a big thing for people now. They're like you read about it all the time. You're like, oh, self-care, whatever. Um, but it is. It's so important that we have a hard time fitting it in. And it's sad. It's sad that we don't have enough time or I shouldn't say enough time. I'm really big on it's about people's priorities. But self-care has been a buzzword for the last couple of years, and people usually they talk about like, oh, take long baths, which I'll talk about. I love taking long bubble baths, but that isn't some people's thing. It could be something as simple as reading a book or walking through a bookstore for 10 minutes. See, I'm just mentioning things I enjoy doing. But going for a run. I used to run. But anyway, so I know for a lot of people, self care sounds super cheesy, like self care, whatever. I don't have time for self care. I have bills to pay and stuff to do. Or you think about that, you think it's expensive. It doesn't have to be expensive. It can be free or very low cost. So, well, I'll give you some examples. I just gave you some examples regarding books and reading. You're going to hear that a lot throughout many Tyche Talks, many blogs. I'm a huge reader. I'm the big bibliophile. I have a stack of to read books about this big on my nightstand, and two about, no, actually, no, three about this big on my dresser. So if you have a good book recommendation, let me know. Love reading and I read different genres. So, so today it's about here. I'm going to give you a couple examples of um, low cost or no cost uh, ways you can pamper yourself. Uh, I mentioned taking long baths. Take a short bath. Don't take a bath. Take a long shower. Whatever you want to do. You paint your nails, do face masks. Basically, you can have like a little mini spa day for yourself. Or it doesn't have to be many. It can be all day. You're sitting around in your various masks, foot masks, hand masks, face masks. Do all the masks. And to pamper yourself and have a nice little spa day. Have your little lunch, some wine. I kind of want to have a spa day now too. I mentioned earlier exercising, running, going for a run. I used to be a runner. I'm trying to get back to it, and I admit I it's always hard for me to start running, but I really enjoy. And after I do it, I never really got the runner's high, but I got a real satisfaction that I did something. Another thing you can do is yoga. You know, look on YouTube. You can get some free videos there. Um, You can also have I call it solo dolo dance party. It's when I turn on the music and I'm act like I'm in a concert, like, oh, I'm Beyonce. Oh. and, and so I just dance around the room and just have a grand old time by myself. I call it, I mean, you can do it with other people too. I just really enjoy doing myself because no one can tell me about my music sucks or whatever. And I can also sing. So I call those solo dolo dance parties. I really love doing those. Getting outside is so important. Um, I am not a big outdoorsy person. I call myself an indoorsy person. But the great thing is for me, getting outside can really just be about going out on the deck and just sitting there reading my book, having a nice glass of wine, taking my boys out. They enjoy going outside and they look around and like, oh, what's going on out here? Um, So just every day, try to take some time to go outside and breathe in some fresh air. If for some reason you can't get out, the daylight savings time should be ending, I think. I get confused about the ending or not. But yeah, the days are going to start being extended in a couple of weeks. So if I can't get out for whatever reason, if the weather's decent, I try to open the windows to get some fresh air that way. Um, you can also unplug. That's what I don't. do this, but I know people like they're like, I just need a break from all like being available all the time. You can put do not disturb like, if you have the Apple. I'm sure the Androids have a version. I don't really know anything about Androids, but you can put do not disturb, so you can just have some time of peace where people can't reach you, but you can reach people if they need to. You can let certain people through. And one of the things I like to do, I didn't do it this week because someone's sick in our family, so I've been running ragged, taking care of them and such. But buy yourself a bouquet of flowers. I'm a big fan of I love flowers. Love, love, love flowers. So they don't have to be super expensive. You don't necessarily have to get roses unless that's your preferred flower. But I like to go to the grocery store. They usually have pretty good deals on flowers, and they last a decent amount of time. And I invested in I'm looking back here because on Amazon I got the plant food, so to make them last even longer. I think it was like $10 for 200 or something like that. So you can spend like $10, $6, cheaper sometimes, and get it from grocery store, Costco, Trader Joe's, any number of grocery stores. You can like if you're a chocolate person, I'm not, but people who are chocolate people indulge in like a really nice piece of chocolate. Um, or cake. I'm a cake person. Or cake, something decadent and small. It doesn't have to be something huge, just like something that you can savor and it's just this is my moment. This is fun. You have to shut yourself off if you live with other people. And so that way you don't have to share. And you can just enjoy yourself. You don't have to talk about it. You can just savor it. I'm trying to think of what my thing would be. If you were like, you know what, I'm going all in, you can get a massage. Or there's a lot of places they have spa days, like get a healthy lunch. I always prefer that they didn't have healthy lunch. I'm like, I'm indulging today. I don't want a salad. That's just me. If you like, you're like, you know what? I got my bonus, whatever. I'm just gonna treat myself to a day at the spa. That's also an option if you want to indulge and do a little splurge. So now I'm going to talk about something that isn't as sexy. I think money's sexy. But it's about falling in love with your finances, which I know it sounds cheesy, but it's something that you really need to do. And it also flows into what we're going to talk about next. Actually, you know what? I'm going to come back to that because it's a good transition to next week. So basically, self love, self care, it's about investing. It's about investing in yourself and investing in those, your relationships. And when I say relationships, I know for Valentine's Day, we often think about romantic relationships or Valentine's Day or Valentine's Day. I don't actually know if there is a Valentine's Day, to be honest with you, but I might have just made that up. But it's important to think about your relationships and do a relationships inventory. I do it about every year. I think it's a bit much to do it more than that, but sometimes depending what goes on in your life, you need to do it. And you just think about the people who bring joy, who contribute to your life, that when you talk to them or when you think about them, they they fill you up or they pour into your soul, basically. That sounds very woo, but you know what I mean. Someone that like you look forward to, you don't feel drained when you talk to them. And then there are people who you do feel drained talking to them. And I did something similar to, I call it 3D process for my to-do list is um, do, delegate, delete. And when I do my relationship inventories, I do something similar. It's basically um, invest, distance, delete. What would that be? IDD, id. So for the ones I could invest, that those are the people who are closest to my heart and soul, and I want to invest more in those relationships or continue to invest in those relationships to keep them strong or to make them stronger. So for the ones that I want to distance, is that it's not that they are horrible people. None of these people are necessarily horrible, but they're people who I want to distance myself from for any number of reasons. Maybe it's just like, you know, people change and maybe our priorities aren't aligned. It could be any number of things, but you just kind of want to create a little distance. Maybe you don't talk to them as much. You aren't ghosting them, but you're just kind of creating a little distance from yourself and them. And for the people that you delete, you just kind of it's not necessarily ghosting because they may not be actively seeking your attention, but um, they're basically people you just kind of remove from your life. Those are toxic people. I know toxic is a very popular term nowadays, but um, you also those are the people who actively drain from your soul. When you see their name come up on your phone or you see an email, something by them, you sigh. You're like, "Okay." And you have to like gear yourself up to talk to them or to read the email. Those are the people that those are the first people you want to distance yourself from, and the first people you definitely want to delete. So, how do you do this? You want to create boundaries. This particularly for those people. I mean, you want to create boundaries for people in general, but particularly for the people that you're distancing and you're kind of deleting from your friend list. You really just want to create boundaries that are best for you. And it's like, okay, well, don't call me after 9 or 10 o'clock or something like that. So when and people will press those boundaries, especially if they're new boundaries. But stay firm. Uh, Obviously, if there's an emergency or something, you can be firm and flexible. Like things happen, but figure out what's important to you for your life to work at its optimum way. I'm looking over there, make sure I'm not missing any comments, um, and move forward from that. And the other thing goes back to what I was saying before, the first group of people, the invest people. You want to surround yourself with those people as much as possible. Those positive people, those people who are egging you on, who want nothing but the best for you. Those are the people you want to have in your life. And you want to be like, yes, I'm going to talk to. Um, I know in my life, one of the people, her name's Aria. A number of people, Heather, Ginger. Hey, I don't think any of them are really active on Facebook, but Um, so those are the people that you really want to surround yourself with people who are uplifting, who are supportive, who are positive. Not the people who are just, dotting everything you do. Like, Carol, you really want to do that? You need those people in your life. I'm just talking about the people who are constantly like negative Nancy's. Here's the thing. Part of being self-love is loving yourself as you are, even as you're working towards bettering yourself. Because too often we find like, oh my goodness, like I say too much. I have filler words. I use filler words. I know I do, but um, there, there we go. I just use the filler word. But really embrace your perfections because no one's perfect. If there's something you really want to work on, choose one or two things and really work on those things. But think about if those things are really going to add to your life and if they're really priorities to you. Because no one's perfect. It's okay if you're not perfect. Just don't be toxic or awful. Just be decent. Be decent and considerate. The world need more decent and considerate people doing more decent and considerate things. Falling in line with that is giving yourself some grace. This is a lesson that I really had to learn over the last year. Um, the people who I talk to, I say that a lot to myself. This is I feel like you can't really see it. It says well says a cuss word, so I don't know if I can make it. Anyway, I'm drinking my coffee. It's giving yourself grace. That's basically for me, that falls into kind of what I talked about before, embracing your perfections, understanding that not everything is going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to miss opportunities. You're like, oh, I should have done that. But It's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just learn the lesson and move on. Because if you keep, well, if you put energy and time into the mistakes you made instead of the lessons that you should learn from those things, you're just going to drain yourself. And there's no reason for that. So just give yourself a little extra grace. Lastly, we're going to talk about loving your finances, which I love talking about money. A lot of people don't like talking about money. It's one of those taboo things. So it's religion, politics, and money, or something. I think those are the three things you're not supposed to talk about in polite company. Um, I don't know if I'll be included in polite company, but I'm pretty polite, but also very straightforward. Anyways, back on topic, finances. For me, money, it's not bad to talk about money. I think it's good to talk about money. I think money is a tool. You can choose how you want to use it. And you don't hear people talk about other tools, like don't talk about that screwdriver. Don't talk about the hammer. That's just weird. But it's the same thing. You can use money to do any number of things. In addition to paying your bills, paying for spa day, paying for your kids' tuition, paying for dinners, whatever you use money for. That's all a tool. Money is the tool. It isn't inherently good or bad. I mean, it's better to have it than not, but it's a tool. And you decide how you want to use it. So talk about money. Don't be obnoxious about it. Don't like get in people's business if they don't want to talk about it. But feel free to talk about more open we are about money, the less taboo it is, the more likely that people will start getting paid what they should be getting paid, because it's not secret anymore. So, first step is getting to know your money. Know where your money is going. Know how much exactly you're bringing in. How much are you saving? Figure out your priorities and make sure your money is going accordingly to those priorities. So, you want to make a spending plan. Sometimes they say budget. I like spending plan because I think when people hear budget, they're like, oh, but spending plan is really just a plan for your spending, same thing as a budget. So for like a month, try making a budget, tracking your expenses to like figure out like, okay, what exactly is my income? Because it may not just be from your job. Maybe you have, dividends or something coming in, or you have other monies coming in. So just track it for a month or two and see and get a realistic picture of where you are, a snapshot of where you are. So then you can figure out where you want to be and how to get there. So once you can set financial goals, I generally tell people to like figure out where they are before they can figure out where they're going. It's kind of hard to decide how to get somewhere if you don't know where you're starting from. So you want to set some financial goals and review them every quarter or monthly, however you want to review them. But decide on one big thing that you want to focus on. Like this year, my big thing is paying off debt. Um, and maybe not student loan debt because Lordy, student loans, but otherwise paying off student loans. Oh, I just realized I started this early. All right, so you want to also just invest in yourself. We talked about that a little earlier, health wise and surrounding yourself with support. Uh, so that's the main topic discussion today about entertaining, about uh, I'm getting flustered because I just realized I started this at 12 instead of 12:30. So you'll see me again at 12:30. So, uh, yeah, so I was really excited about finance because we're going to have a special guest next week. And so I'm super excited about that. Samantha Dutto, she is a financial expert and she focuses on women. So we're going to be talking to her about women and money. Again, love talking about money. Also coming up, I'm super excited about this too, maybe super duper excited because I'm working really hard on it, is an online course that we'll be offering soon. And again, like I said, next week, Tyche's talk, and you'll hear me again if you actually come in at the right time. um, we'll be talking about women and money. So um, I'll go live again at 12:30 because that was the time I was supposed to go live. So I'll see you guys then again. Bye.